Congrats on all your success, man. I continue to watch him. I lived through you, man. I wish I could still be playing. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I wish you was my point guard, man. I wish I could have came off a few pick and rolls with you, man.
Man, sometimes I think I retired too early, but you never know. You just never know when that time comes. You know what I'm saying? Right. You never prepared to say goodbye, bro. That's for sure.
Thanks. What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Players Podcast presented to you by the EuroLeague Players Association. I'm your host, Kyle Hines. Today, we got a very special guest, literally a living legend, both on and off the basketball court. This guy has accomplished, so much. He's literally held down a whole entire country, put a country on his back, throughout the basketball in general, man. He's done so much. And even now, he's the general manager of the Puerto Rican national team. He's a international Raggaeton music star, NBA vet, man. The resume can go on and on. My guy, one of my favorite players to watch, Arroyo. Carlos, man, how's everything?
Good, man. Thank you for having me, man. Pleasure to be here, brother.
Appreciate it, man. Now we're gonna jump right into it. Cause like I said, man, you're a busy guy, got a busy schedule, got a lot going on. So we're gonna get right into it. And I want to start off in the beginning, man. Puerto Rico, is, for those that don't know, it's a small island. How did you get your start, playing basketball there? Where did the love kind of come from? Kind of take us through the beginning a little bit.
Man, my pops, man, from an early age, I'm a twin brother for a lot of people that don't know. And my pops, taught us the game from an early age. I guess he wanted to live through our eyes, his basketball dreams, and we just learned from an early age, watching the, Bad Boy Pistons and watching Magic and the Lakers, and just, fell in love with the game at an early age in Puerto Rico. Back then there was no internet. You just watch the games on, on the TV and whenever they came up. So, but I just fell in love with the game. I was passionate about it. I was one of those kids that, I was every day on, in the park playing with my boys, and my dad training us, after work every afternoon. So just fell in love early, man. It was fun days for sure.
Growing up, who was the better twin? You or your brother?
Man, I wouldn't say I'm up on that record, but as far as one-on-ones, but he was a way better shooter than me. I had to, to learn. Yeah, I remember my pops, just, telling me, look at your brother's form, how he releases his elbows straight. But, I think I was more passionate about the game. I was more into just, watching the NBA games. And then right after the game, I was in, the backyard shooting and working on my game. He was a little bit more into video games and stuff like that. But we played in the same teams growing up, and my dad gave us both the same opportunities, so but I kind of continued on in my basketball career, and he fell to other things.
Now, many people, probably our European listeners, probably don't know. They don't really know about the Puerto Rican League and about the history that Puerto Rico has in basketball. There's been, so many great players, great coaches, Phil Jackson, Dr. Jack Ramsey, Tex Winter, that have gotten their start in the Puerto Rican League. So growing up, that's kind of the league and the area where you started up. But growing up there, how did the Puerto Rican League kind of lay the foundation for you? And kind of talk a little bit about the Puerto Rican Basketball League.
Yeah, our league has a lot of history. It's been going on for many years. It's a 4-month league. It's always been, it's not a all year round league. It's a 4-month to 5-month league. The teams have gone down franchises. We got up to 10 to 11 teams now. It used to be up to 18 to 20 teams before. But a lot of history, a lot of players that have played in Europe. One of the big names that people in Greece might know is Piccolino Ortiz, and he played in Barcelona as well. So, but a lot of history, a lot of great players. I played in the Puerto Rican League when I was 16 years old. I started playing. That was my rookie season, and back then I was able to play in college and then play in the summers in Puerto Rico, which it was allowed to be a pro and be in school at the same time. But NCAA rules changed all that, and Since then, you're not allowed to do that no more. But those were my upbringings as far as learning how to play the game, being more competitive, understanding that a game was just constantly getting at a higher level. So I had to learn how to eat, rest, get stronger. Just mentally prepare myself for games better. My IQ had to change as far as decision making because I knew I was playing with guys that would read plays a little bit faster than high school kids. So that was my my camp. That league got me right for college and prepared me for the many things that came after high school. So I owe a lot to that league. Also won 5 championships over there before I was in the NBA. So it really helped me mature and just learn about the game a little bit quicker than most players usually take a long time to just go through high school, college, and then go on to the pro. So I'm indebted to that league forever, man.
My wife actually started her career in Puerto Rico. She played in
really?
Isabella, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So she played there. I remember when I was in Italy and she was in Isabella, and we would get this is 2008, so there was no cell phones, international. So we get the phone cards and calling each other back and forth, and I know so many people. And I know, so it's kind of crazy that you talked about it. And I mean, also I know so many players that played there, and that league is not a baby. Like that league it's a physical league. So it's like for you to be 16 and getting your start there. Like, I mean, that just kind of shows like the maturity that and how it allowed you to kind of progress as a player.
Yeah, man. I was, to be honest, I was a little intimidated at 16, but I knew, that was playing basketball and being a pro, it's all I dreamed about. So, I knew after the first 5 minutes of the game when I was 16 years old, I knew I had to get myself together and just start playing, at a high level because, it was just what I wanted to do. And I was constantly, proving myself against vets and guys that I used to admire and be. I was a ball boy since I was 5 years old for that league. So it was just a dream come true. And, it was something that prepared me, for the rest of my career.
Now you left home right around, I think 16 or 17 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So
18, 17, 18. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the decision for you to leave home? I know you left home and you ended up going to a school in Georgia with your brother. So what was that decision, and how did your parents feel about that? Like, just kind of leaving.
Yeah, I mean, it was something I always was, it was in my bucket list, you can say. I felt back then there was I wasn't in an AAU team that I could, put a video together and send it to colleges. I knew I had to leave Puerto Rico to be able to be watched by all these colleges and universities I wanted to be a part of. So I told my dad, I was 14 actually. I was 14, and I told my dad, look, I want to play in the States. I want to go to high school in the States. And he found this family in Georgia that were kind enough to accept me and take me in. And so I went over there. I went with my brother. My brother didn't like it.
Yeah.
So I stayed
right
there
after like 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah. He left after 2 weeks. He said, man, I really don't like it. I ain't feeling it. So it was out in the country, to be honest. It was nothing to do.
Totally different.
So I just went through the struggles of just being homesick and not having a comfortable living, as far as like being at home and getting, you're used to eating certain things and being around your friends and family. So that was a struggle, but I was with a family that just, man, took me in, took care of me. I didn't need nothing, They provided me with everything. And so I went to school there that year, and once season started, I just started getting letters and offers, which is what I wanted to. That was the main reason I went. So, but my parents, they were supportive, and looking back at it now, like, I don't know if I'm okay with,
that's what I was going to ask.
Allowing one of my kids, like my kids at 14, to leave to not another state. I was in Puerto Rico. I was leaving to the States,
Exactly.
Like, I don't know if I could do that with one of my kids, right now with how things are and everything. It's just, I wouldn't feel comfortable, but shout out to my parents for allowing me to do that and allowing me to follow my dreams, and me keeping my focus, by myself, not really speaking the language. I learned as I went, but I mean, I spoke English, but it's just a transition. It's hard at 14, you're by yourself. So
in Georgia, I guess where you at, Georgia and English and all that, like that whole culture is a lot different than you coming.
Southern food. I was, introduced to Southern food. I mean, I loved it. but everything was just new. And then the schoolwork and, transition into homework and understanding, the grammar and all that, that was a struggle, man. Basketball was always easy. It was something that I wanted to do. It was my passion, but it was a big transition, and we decided as a family my senior year to come back and finish at home. I was going to recruit it, good enough for me to be, finish back home. And my dad wanted me to turn pro at 16. So we made that decision. It worked out. Now I can say, but it was something that, it helped me. All those decisions, helped me mature, helped me see life through different eyes and understand that, at any moment, I knew I wanted to go. I left then I went to college. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm going to college I'm going to Miami. I wanted my brother to come with me. So I told the school, FIU, look, I'll sign with you guys, but my brother has to come as well.
That's low.
So they didn't have enough scholarships, and they said, look, we'll put your brother. We got connections at I would think it was Palm Beach Community College. He'll go there for 2 years and then transfer and then play with you your junior and senior year. My brother went to Palm Beach Community College, man. After a couple of months, he said, man, this ain't for me. So he went back home because he was in love. He was in love with this girl that he ended up marrying, but it didn't work out either for him. So I was like, man, I'm staying. I'm following this dream. So, but yeah, man, my life's been, through the struggle, I learned who I really am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just had to prove myself. I was never the tallest, the most athletic, but I knew I had to work hard, and I always had faith. You know what I'm saying? I always had faith that I could make it, man. And I thank God for that. I feel very fortunate.
The day you signed your scholarship to Florida International, what was that feeling like when you're playing your first college basketball game and you're getting on campus, you walk around campus, like you said, like you had this dream since you were 14 years old. So, once that dream was actually realized, what was that feeling like for you?
It was great, man. I felt I was in the right route, the route I put myself since I was a kid, but it was never a dull moment. Like it was never like a moment where I could sit down and say, like, damn, I made it. Because it was always a transition process for me. I had to, I get out of a game and I had a good game, but I have a test in the morning that I had to study. And then, it was just always so stressful. I never had a time where I could relax and enjoy and, other than winning games, in college, you have to maintain your grades to be able to be eligible to play. So, so I struggled with that as well. But no, it was love, man. It was love. I mean, me getting a scholarship. I remember my assistant coach when I was signing the scholarship. He was like, "This is the biggest contract you're ever gonna sign," And I was like, yeah, exactly. but no, I mean, all love, man. They gave me an opportunity. They told me you play from the beginning as a freshman. They gave me the ball and they said, "This is your team." So that was mainly the reason I came to FIU. I was close to home. I could get on a plane. It was a 2-hour 15 flight to Puerto Rico. Yeah. They can come visit me in Miami. They got the Latin community, the Latin food. So I felt like I was at home, good weather. So it worked out, man.
After your decorated career at Florida International, when did professional basketball, obviously you had been turned pro in Puerto Rico before, but when did like professional basketball abroad, like the NBA or possibly playing, overseas, really seem like it was something that can like really happen for you?
After my senior year, I went through all that, camps and, summer league and all that stuff. I went through the not getting picked in the draft. Not getting picked in the draft really hurt me because, I had two teams that really promised me. They said, we'll pick you at second round, early, whatever.
Yeah, same.
I had good summer camps and stuff. So I felt there was a big chance of me getting picked. Just, for all of us, that's a dream, getting picked in the draft. It wasn't until maybe like my first good game, in Utah, like my third year in the league, where I was, comfortable, and I said, okay, I belong here. Which I had my career high against Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Before that, my first year, I was picked by Toronto, but it was a non-guaranteed contract. They let me go at the midseason. I ended up signing with Baskonia for like a month, and then I went back to the league and finished I had like a 10-day contract with Denver. So, I was always like in that, and trying to figure myself out, trying to see if I really fitted in the league, if I was good enough, in my mind, I always have faith, but that I struggle with that because I never had a guaranteed contract until like my third year, so it wasn't until then, and then I had a good year that year in Utah, and then that solidified myself as a player in the NBA when they actually stamped me with a 4-year deal. So I knew I was good, but at the same time I knew that contract could follow me everywhere. They could trade me, they could release me, they could do whatever. So it was, I was constantly just try to prove myself, even though I had a good contract. So it's just tough, man. Being a pro is tough. It's not. I mean, at least for me.
Yeah.
For me, you know what I'm saying, Kyle? Like I care about my legacy. Every time I stepped on that court, I knew contracts would come and go, and you get a good contract. You have a good team. You're gonna reach the finals. You're gonna be in a good opportunity. You're gonna be put in a good opportunity, surrounded by good players. So you're gonna have a good season. You prepare yourself to have a good season, but and then that money will come with that. But legacy to me is what it's what drove me. Yeah, exactly. What drove me. So. And I take this time to look at your career, man. Like you've done it all, man. You should feel so proud of everything you've done, bro. Like it's so tough to win, man. It's so tough to win, and people don't understand it. It takes a whole team to come together, and then everybody understanding their each their role, and just come together. It's just tough. But I care more about legacy, man, and having my name live forever after you're done. It's just beautiful, man. Like I said, money comes and goes, and if you're a hard worker and you're disciplined, you're always gonna have good opportunities to make money and surround yourself with the right people. But that legacy, man, is beautiful.
I mean, your name is definitely stamped. I mean, your legacy is definitely stamped. I mean, for all the things that you accomplished in your career. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, especially, and I mean, we could jump right into it now. But I mean, just playing for the. I have more questions about the NBA, but I want to talk more about what you said about legacy. And I want to know about, your mindset does your mindset change when you play for the NBA or you playing for a club team versus when you put on that national team jersey?
Most definitely.
Yeah. So can you talk about that? Like, cause I mean, especially Puerto Rico, I guess you could say is almost, I guess, I don't want to say an afterthought, but it's almost sometimes an afterthought, like almost like the basketball world, especially cause it's like, you have the U.S. and then you have Puerto Rico and some of the islands. So for you, and especially, for your teammates, how important was that to, to carry that legacy and carry that, like every time you wore that national team jersey, like what did that mean for you?
When you play for your national team, it's special because you're representing your family, you're representing your upbringings, your culture, your heritage. You're representing a group of people that they could care less how much money you have, where you went to school, you play in the NBA, they don't care about none of that. They care about you, playing with pride, with honor, with discipline, like dedicating yourself for so many years to your island. It's just beautiful, man. I feel like, I feel so proud to have been a part of that for 15 years, and if you're a basketball player going over in Puerto Rico, that's all you want to do, represent, and put on that uniform. So it was always a dream of mine, and I was fortunate enough to be the captain for so many years, over 12 years for that team, and it just opened the doors, for me outside of the game, worldwide. It just gave me the opportunity to be myself, to play my game. When I played in the NBA, it was different because you're just another role player, in the position that I was. You didn't come from a big time high school, you didn't come from a big time, I didn't go to a big time school. I went to a small program in Miami at FIU, Florida International University, which I'm grateful. But I was, like I told you, I was never the most athletic, the tallest, the strongest, and I knew I had to work harder for everything. So every time I put on that uniform, I always wanted to represent with pride, and especially playing against US. I always, just wanted to represent the colors of my flag with honor, and you just play that much harder. It's just, you feel like a superhero, man, to be honest, and it's just, it's just a business when you play for a club. Obviously it's our job. We need to step up and be professional in every sense of the word. But playing for Puerto Rico, you have to play with passion, love, because you representing your family. I don't get a salary when I was playing for Puerto Rico. It's something that it had to come from me, my love for my people, and be able to do it genuinely, every summer. I would play all year round. Our season in Europe is all year round. And then in the summers, that's the time where I take my family to Disney. I go to, vacations with them and stuff. And I just put all that aside and just focus on my national team, because I know how much it meant to me. Not everybody maybe feels the same way, but I know that the guys that are born and raised in Puerto Rico, they know what it means, not only for you, for your family, but for the people of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I mean, and the people of Puerto Rico have the most pride. Like you can see it anywhere. You can see it in New York City. You can see it in Miami. You can see it anywhere you go. So it's like, I mean, that feeling has to be like, I'm getting like this, like kind of low key, like goosebumps just thinking about like, having that ability to play for your country and represent like the like I said, Puerto Ricans are already prideful people. So once you see that on a grand stage and see the success that, that representing your country and on a grand stage, I mean, it has to be unreal. It has to be unbelievable.
Yeah, right. And, the opportunity that we got, to be a part of history, beating the U.S. in that 2004 Olympics, that was just, come on, man. Like, that was beautiful, man. Like, after that, we thought we won the Olympics. We thought we had a chance to win the Olympics. You know what I'm saying?
But that's why I want to ask you. That's why I want to ask you, because this is 2004, right? So, I mean, for people that don't know, the historical, one of the most historical games in Olympic history is the USA versus Puerto Rico. You guys won. I mean, you played unbelievable. I mean, I rewatched the game like 3 or 4 times, but I mean, I watched the game live actually. I was that, when I was, I think it was right when I was like a senior in high school, but I rewatched it a couple weeks ago, and it was like, first of all, the way you dictated the game, it was like the first half, like you were literally, because I seen the stats, I can't remember, you had 20-something points and, all this type of, assists and stuff like that. But like the first half, it was like literally you were just setting up everybody, like setting up your teammates, setting up everybody. And then the second half, like you just kind of like this killer instinct. And it was pull up, jumper, transition, 3, this, that, and the other. So like the way you played that game is like, I think for point guards, like it was like a clinic, like in my opinion, like it was a masterful like clinic, like a master class on how like a point guard should play. But the question I have is, there was no social media. There was barely any cell phones. There was barely anything. So this is 2004. You guys are in Athens, Greece. You just beat the USA team. What was that feeling like after the game? Like, like how were you guys able to celebrate? Was it like you could call home? It wasn't like you could post on, IG or TikTok or whatever. Yeah. There was no YouTube clips. There was nothing. So what was that like? That feeling like?
Man, it was love, man. Like I said to you, we thought we really had a chance. He said, we can beat US, we can beat anybody in this tournament. And the second game, I think it was the second, it was a back-to-back, might have been. I think we played Saras in them.
Yeah.
and they brought us back to earth, with their big plays and stuff. But yeah, it was a great feeling, man. That changed my career. That game changed my career completely, man. On and off the court, and it just it put me at a stage where I knew I had to carry my name with a lot more respect, be more disciplined about the way I did things on and off the court. Going to Puerto Rico, it was just love everywhere, and I said, okay, I know where I stand now. As far as your name, how it grows after championships and all that. So. And I always cared about that. My father always taught me, your name is going to carry. You need to, carry yourself with a lot of respect and respect the game as well. So I'm always aware of that, but yeah, man, like to this day, people in Puerto Rico celebrate that game like it's a freaking birthday, man. Like it's a birthday, and you mentioned New York and Orlando and the community there. I mean, I go to Disney and all the Puerto Ricans, we always have our flags and our shirts. Like, it's like it's a parade every day.
Yeah.
And people are just proud, man. They come up to me and they show so much love. And, I have kids in Puerto Rico. I mean, social studies books in the schools. They have my picture like that. And that's a proud moment for me.
That's
That's
amazing,
so
man.
much love. So to me, it's just it carries a lot of weight, and I'm just proud, man. I'm proud, and from here to the day I die, I'm always going to be a proud Puerto Rican, and I'm very passionate when it comes to talking about my people and where I'm from. So yeah, that was so much love, man, winning that game.
Now I want to talk two kind of instances. So first of all, you talk about the pride. Now you were the flag bearer at the Olympics in Puerto Rico, if I'm not mistaken, right? So
yes, sir.
So what was that feeling like to walk out and carry the Puerto Rican flag amongst not like it's the United States, not like this is the whole entire world, like you're waving a flag. So like, what was that feeling like? This is even before the basketball game. So I'm saying, what was that feeling like, for you?
It was truly an honor, man. I got the call. I think I was in Miami. Was it Miami? Yeah, I was in Miami. I got the call after my good season in Utah.
Yeah.
It was before going into my contract here in Utah, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to go, because I was a free agent. I just had a good year. That's what it was. I had a good year. I didn't know, so I was waiting to sign an extension with Utah. So I didn't know if I was going to be a part of the Olympics, because I was negotiating my contract, and I said, look, if I don't get into an agreement with Utah or with any team at free agency, I don't know if I'm going to be able to participate. So and a week later they said, look, well, we're trying to, we're going to name you the Flagbearer for the Olympics. And I was like, oh man, I gotta go. So I try to force my agent to accelerate that process, that free agency process, negotiation, because I said I have to be in the Olympics. So but it was a true honor, man. I was so happy. That kind of started my I was motivated to go to the Olympics, but I was even more motivated just being the flag bearer and having the world watch you, walk down, that stadium with, holding the flag. As you could see the smile on my face. I was so excited, man. It's truly an honor.
Now, have you rewatched the game, and how many times have you watched it in the USA?
I watched the game. I mean, I watch, a lot of people tag me to this day when they put highlights and stuff.
Yeah.
And I always try to show love. But the game itself, like sitting there watching it, it's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
I normally try to do it on the day that, August 15th.
Yeah.
I try to watch the game just to honor that moment. I may go through the whole game, or maybe stop and watch a couple of plays and stuff. But at the beginning, I watched it over and over and over again.
Do you remember like your mentality? Like, I know it's hard to say really now, but do you really remember like your mentality and kind of like what's your thoughts and kind of what you were kind of going through during that game, or was it more like kind of like an out of body experience? Like after the game was over, you were just like, like, what did we just do? Like,
Yeah. What's funny? Like, we played them at least 3-4 times that summer before we played them in the Olympics. And we're trying to figure out, how to play them and stuff. And then every time we play them at closed doors, Larry Brown would tell our coach, let's play man-to-man, don't play zone. That was, and our coaches, thought, well, we're going to, you're giving us how to, the recipe on how to play you guys the first game.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to play you zone, because for some reason, you're going to struggle. So that's what we played. We played a triangle and two, one man in front of Timmy, and another one, I think, went with AI, or I think it was a box and one with Timmy. And that's all we played. If you look at the film, we hardly were playing man to man. We knew their abilities and what player we were facing. So we needed to prepare for that game as best as we could. I think after the exhibition games and friendly games we had, scrimmages, we knew pretty much that we had a good chance if we played the right way, because it was just guys weren't intimidated to play those NBA guys no more. They would look at we would play and then we'll go to dinner. We had functions that we would be together at. So we had a relationship with those guys. We kind of knew them, and you kind of feel like, well, I can beat these guys. But when you kind of build that relationship. So we went into that game with that confidence, you know, and at halftime we were up by, I think we were up by 21 or something.
Yeah.
And I know we looked at each other in the locker room and we were like, man, it was total silence, you know? And then, you know, I was more, you know, I was a little bit more, you know, more afraid of when we were up by 21 than being, you know, up by 5 points. Because, you know, when you're up by 21, second half, you can't lose the game, man. Like you got to be able to control the tempo, and decision making got to be on point for you to be able to, you know, come up with a win. And then they got close to 9 points. I was like, damn, man, you know, here comes this run.
Yeah.
But we were able to sustain ourselves and just, you know, stay the course and play the right way and make the right decisions at the right time. And just they went through for us.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. Like I said, I mean, just even here when I was, you know, I'm telling people that, you know, I'm going to have you on a podcast. That's the first thing everybody talks about.
That's love, man. Thank you,
man. So I mean, that's like I said, man, that's huge. Now, kind of I guess not off topic question, but other than, because I mean, unfortunately, I never get a chance to play in the Olympics, and I'm always curious about like what that experience is. So other than,
you might be Puerto Rican, man.
Hey,
you
man,
don't know. You might be Puerto Rican. So.
We can check, man. We can check.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on that. We need your play, boy.
I wouldn't about it at all. But what other than the basketball game and obviously the game, you know, experience on the court, walking away from the Olympics, like what was probably in obviously the Flagbearer, but what was kind of like your most memorable, you know, memory walking away from that Olympic experience?
You know, you hardly, it's so hard to qualify for the Olympics.
Yeah.
At least for us, you know, USA every year, you know, every time there's an Olympics, you know, they're going to be there, but it's just so hard, man. And you never know when you're going to be back, you know, and we haven't been back. So it's something that, you know, me as a general manager now is something that I would love for my guys to experience, you know? So it's just knowing that, you know, you never know if you're going to be back before you retire. That was kind of like my man, you know, and all you have is memories, the memories that you take, you know, from winning, beating US and Flagbearer, and just one of the things they do the most in the Olympics is they change pins. Other countries, they change pins. So that was something that, you know, every day the guys will be, oh man, what pins you have? And it was just those little memories, you know, you take with yourself. And the relationships, you know, we used to, you know, have breakfast in the cafeteria and then have, you know, the Williams sisters sit next to you, or, you know, Michael Phelps, and you see the women's basketball, and all these athletes that you see on TV all the time, just having lunch with you and just you're sharing experiences with other countries and other athletes. That's what you take, man. That was a great experience. The Olympics are just something else, man.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. I can imagine. We gotta check on that Puerto Rican DNA, man. See if I can. See if I can flip it. I want to get it too, because like, you know, most of our listeners are European, and I want to talk about your European experience, your EuroLeague experience. So really, kind of almost at like the prime of your career, you decide to, you know, you sign a EuroLeague with Maccabi. So talk about, you know, what kind of went into that decision, and was it, you know, more or less like, you know, you just kind of wanting to, you know, try something new? And then what was your experience like in Israel? And I mean, Tel Aviv is obviously one of, you know, a great city, a beautiful city, and the fans there, you know, the fans there are amazing. The club is amazing, but, you know, what was your experience like there, you know, being really like your kind of your first extended amount of time over, you know, playing abroad?
You know, playing abroad was obviously, you know, plan B for my career. You know, plan A was the NBA always. I knew of Maccabi. I knew little of Israel, you know. So when we made the decision, that was coming off 2005. I was coming off of a year with the Orlando Magic. My bad. It was 2009, 2008, 2009. One of those years. And I only had that summer. I only had an offer on the table from Phoenix. And I said, you know, I'm looking for a long-term commitment from a team. And I was in the Bahamas with my family, and I got a call from my agent saying that Maccabi, you know, had offered me a 3-4 year deal. to play for them, and I had to think about it. To be honest with you, I told my wife, "Look, I think it's going to be Israel. The offer is pretty good." And she was like, Israel, and I would, we started Googling. We got on Google. We went to the business center at the hotel. We started Googling, and it wasn't what a lot of people expect for Israel to be.
Absolutely.
You go to Maccabi, and you've been to Tel Aviv many times. It's beautiful out there.
Yeah.
So
the palm trees, the beach.
Yeah, palm trees. It looks like you're in Miami.
It's like Miami. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. So and I said, look, I'm gonna go by myself. I'm gonna take on this deal. I'm gonna, go by myself. At the time, we had our firstborn child, so and she was like 2 years old. So I said, I'm gonna go by myself, and I'm gonna, see how everything is, and then I'll bring you up with me. We just hadn't heard, so and it was love, man. I got there, and it's Class A organization, man. Maccabi, opened the doors for me in Europe, and I was more than grateful. They showed me so much love from the fans at the airport to my last day winning that championship, and celebrating. So it was just a great experience, and it was sad for me because I wanted to be a part of that, that club for many years.
Yeah.
Towards the end of my contract that year, they told me, we needed to renegotiate the contract, and I wasn't in the position to do that. I was, coming off a championship, and I had signed a good year, a good contract for many years to come, and they just couldn't afford it. And we left in good terms, and that's when Miami called that summer and decided to, offer me a year deal. So, but Europe, that was my first time playing EuroLeague with them, and we won the domestic league. So, but it was great, man. I had a great experience with Maccabi.
What was your initial, first experience, like, playing in EuroLeague, coming out of there, like, like you said, I guess for you, because you kind of played the international, so you kind of knew some of the international names, but at the same time, it was like, what was that first experience, like, playing in that league, in the EuroLeague, during that first season?
It was, I mean, I knew of players, playing with FIBA and their national team. So I was very familiar with the play, the FIBA rules and all that because of the national team. So I knew what to expect, but it was great, man. It was very competitive. It was, I would say, comparing it to the NBA, you pay attention to the details, the preparation. It's a little bit more detail oriented because, you wait for that one game a week or that 2 games. When you're playing domestically, you play once a week, and then you play EuroLeague, you play, you're once a week too. So you only have 2 games to prepare for it. So you kind of like focus in on those 2 games on a daily basis. There's teams that might practice twice a day and just go over plays for, the teams that you're preparing for. So in the NBA, it's just one day after the next. You're getting ready for the other team, for the next team, and that's time sometimes that you don't practice. When when I was on a team that we had a lot of vets, conditioning was on your own because that coach is going to take care of those vets, and maybe not practice as hard or not practice as much. So it was just different, but I loved it, man. I love the preparation, the intensity of the EuroLeague, the love that you guys get from the fans, and it's just different. It's the fans are more involved in the game, the chanting and the singing and the fires and everything. You know how it is.
Especially the places you've been. You've been in some.
Some man, I'm telling you. So so it was a great experience, man. I love the EuroLeague.
Now, and I want to shift back to Miami, and I have two questions about that. First of all, Miami is basically home, so it's like signing with the Heat. What was that like for you? To basically playing at home, at the crib, basically, playing there, and then you were part of the early part of the big 3. So first answer the part about being home and playing with the Heat and playing with Pat Riley and all that, and then also just the big 3, that first, the Heatles, that ride. So what was all that like? How was that?
No, it was great. It was great. I felt like, going back to college, my early years, I had a solid career here in Miami with FIU, And then going into the pros, you know, I still, you know, had a lot of love from the city, and then coming back and being, you know, coming back as a pro and playing for your hometown team, it was just great, man. And all I wanted to do was to have a solid season.
Mm-hmm.
If not a great season, a solid season, because I knew if I had a bad season and you know, just being here in Miami, you know, where people see you in the supermarket, see you at the restaurant, see you everywhere. You don't want to be, you don't want to, you don't want to have a bad season and still live in the city that you're having bad seasons. You know, that was my only thing. I was like, come on, man, we gotta, you know, play the right way. We gotta do what's right. But you know, thankfully, you know, I had solid season when I was with the Heat, and that year that Bron came and they became the big three. It was just, like you said, it was the Heatles, man. Yeah. Everywhere we went, it didn't matter at what time we arrived at the hotel, 3, 4 in the morning, there was at least 100, 200 people just waiting just to see us, like, not see us, because nobody wanted to see me, see them getting off the bus and into the hotel, or getting out of the hotel, getting into the bus. It was just a great experience, man. Just being a part of that team, you know, it was true brotherhood to this day. Not only that team, but every team I was part of. Yeah. You know, I built great relationship with those guys, and the NBA is, you know, was great for my career, man.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, before we kind of, you know, wrap up the NBA part, you know, it seemed like, you know, all the teammates, like, it seemed like recently I was, you know, on your IG, you were golfing with D Wade. They were talking about before about you and Karl Malone, and you know, all the teammates, even the guys I talk to. I mean, they always, you know, have such, you know, even the guys in Europe, they always have so much great things to say about you. But
oh, thank you, man.
The question I have is, you know, Miami Heat, you were in the NBA Finals with the Pistons, you played for the legendary Boston Celtics. You know, you were there with, you know, John Stockton and Mark Jackson, you know, backing them up as point guards and playing for all these, you know, legendary figures and, you know, in the league. What would you say was your most memorable moment in the NBA?
Man, I mean, aside from, damn, that's a good question. Aside from playing in the finals with Detroit, aside from, you know, from, you know, Michael Jordan calling my name at half court at you know, warm-ups. Yeah, I had that experience, man. I was in Utah and he was in Washington, and he was I was in the layup line, and I hear somebody, Arroyo, Carlos. And I'm ignoring, thinking it's a fan or something. I'm just getting ready for the game. And I hear about, like, the third Arroyo, it's coming from the court. So I look at half court, and there's MJ, like, tucking his shirt in, like tying his pants, calling me. He's the only one at half court. So I go, oh shit, it's Jordan. So I sprint over there. And I said, what's going on, MJ? He's looking at me up and down like, young fella, like that. Like, I've been calling you like 3 months. And then he's like, from Puerto Rico, huh? Right? He's tying his, you know, his strings and stuff. He's like, yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. Okay. My wife's from Puerto Rico. Okay. What's her name? Anita or something. I don't remember her name. Osita, I don't remember her name. But he wanted to know more. Well, yeah, I go over there, I golf and this and that. And we chatted for like a good 30 seconds. All right, man, young fella, have a good game now.
That's love.
I said, okay. And I turned around, I was like, oh shit. I wanted to look at everybody to see if they saw what I was talking to them. But that was one of my biggest memories, like being the last substitution for John Stockton too.
Yeah.
That meant a lot to me, you know. Yeah. The last time he walked off the court, it was me that brought him out, you know. When I found out I made the Toronto team, you know, my first year, I just have great memories, man. Being in with the big three, being in Boston with you know, I've always wanted to be, you know, be on a team where Shaq was on a team too. I wanted to be Shaq's teammate because I heard so many stories, and it was, oh man, it was never a dull moment with that boy. He was so funny, man. He was so funny, man. Shaq was amazing. You know, being in Boston too, I was not only Shaq, it was KG, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Rondo, it was Jermaine. You know, I had some great teammates, man. Some great experience. I can't complain. I had some legendary coaches too, man. Yeah. I can't complain, bro. I can't complain.
You gotta write a book, man. You gotta do something.
Yeah, I know. I've been telling me to write a book. I got some stories, man. I got some stories, man.
I could only imagine, man. Now you finish up your career in Barcelona before you went back to Puerto Rico, but you finished your career in Barcelona. Barcelona is Barcelona. It's a big name, big club, big brand.
Yeah.
So, what was that last season like? And did you know that was going to kind of be like your final year?
In Europe, yeah, I wanted, to close out Europe the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think I would go back to Europe after I played in Puerto Rico. After Galatasaray, we went through that financial stage where they were struggling to pay players and stuff. It really hurt me because I saw myself retiring in Galatasaray. I had a great experience. Fans were amazing. We were winning.
Mm-hmm.
We had good teams. A great relationship with Ataman. I mean, it's one of my favorite coaches, top coach in Europe for me. And
Definitely.
so just finishing in Barca, it was my last straw as far as Europe. I had other things in mind. Going to Puerto Rico and buying a franchise over there and buying a team, being a team owner and playing at the same time, which is something that I wanted to do. And I got to do that after Barcelona. But Barcelona, man, that was you play in Barcelona, all these top teams, prestige teams, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Milan, Maccabi, CSKA, all these top teams, you always, if you know about Europe, you want to be a part of these teams, and I had the opportunity, to be with them. And at the, I was 35, 34. It was at the age where normally guys are like, kind of like, playing in lower level teams and stuff. So I was fortunate to get picked up by Barcelona towards the end of my career in Europe. So, but I had a great experience, man. It was very competitive. A lot of expectations with that team. You know how it is when you play for those top clubs. You don't play well, the next day everybody's fans, media, everybody thinks the world is coming down. You can't lose a game.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. So, but it just it helps you mature. It helps you continue to be competitive. At least for me, at the age I was, it pushed me to be a better player because I know the expectations, and the teammates that I had. When you're in big club and you have good teammates, you want to be able to prepare yourself for games the right way and play at a certain level, and that pushes everyone. So, but it was great. It was great. I still stay in contact with a lot of those players.
Yeah, I mean, I love one of the quotes you said. I mean, you said like, talking about your EuroLeague experience or your European basketball experience, you said something like the opportunities of me playing in those countries really opened a door for you. And like, you talked about like you having the network and, having and building those relationships. And, so just talk about how important that is because like, I think a lot of younger players, when they go abroad and, when they go overseas, they think about the now, but they don't necessarily think about, what, playing abroad, can actually do for you and help you in much more than only just like your basketball career.
Yeah. It helped you, and I'll give you an example. Nowadays, I was teammates, with Hiro Turkoglu in Orlando. Turkoglu is the president of the Turkish Federation. I was teammates with Andrei Kirilenko in Utah, and Kirilenko is the president for the Russian, basketball federation. So now I'm in a position where I'm the general manager for my Olympic national team, and we constantly talk, about putting together scrimmages and tournaments and stuff like that, and preparing for a qualifier. So I want to do like a Super Cuatro, a tournament for whatever, and just FIBA in general. You just create relationships where in the long run, then you're going to help you connect and guide you through the channels that that we are now. And it's just great. The players and agents that I have built relationships through the years in Europe, they call me to this day, and I help them get across the water, help them get to the BSN Puerto Rican League. A lot of players want to be a part of that, or go to Europe, vice versa. Puerto Rican players that want to play in Europe, I'll be making those calls. So it's good to just build network as you play in Europe, and maintain those relationships, not fall back on, I haven't talked to this guy in ages, you just want to continue to at least touch base every couple months, and see what's going on, depending on what you want to do after you retire from basketball. So you just got to build that groundwork, do that groundwork now, and for the future, you're going to have those relationships we that love the game, it's the only thing that we know how to do and we love since we were kids. We'll be a part of the game forever, man. So just building those relationships, network as much as you can, and it'll be easier from when you retire.
Absolutely. Now you talked about your being the general manager of the Puerto Rican national team. When you got that opportunity arisen, what was your feelings like, and what are your goals, for the Puerto Rican national team? Where do you see the team, and how do you, when you talk about legacy, how do you want to leave your legacy now, as the general manager?
I mean, I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm relying on my experience to guide me, obviously. And obviously, maintain that relationship with the new generations coming up. Be aware of those guys coming in. Preach the word of pride and discipline when you come, and wear this uniform and represent it. A lot of guys that we recruit and want to be a part of the Puerto Rican national team, born and raised in Puerto Rico. Their families, their heritage, their grandparents or mothers were born in Puerto Rico, but they were moved to the States and they're really not connected with the culture. So that falls on us, to kind of build that awareness, cultural awareness on those guys, and just build a new culture. We just recently hired a new coaching staff, continue to stay in touch with the players that are, a part of our program that are playing in Europe and the Latin American leagues, and just preach, you have to have genuine interest to be a part of our program and represent Puerto Rico. We're not here to force nobody's hand to represent Puerto Rico. It has to come from you. Just because you were born and raised in Puerto Rico. And right now, we have a lot of these, we have players that are in their free agent years, or they're in their off season and they're training to have a better for next season, and they don't want to get injured, so they don't want to put themselves at risk to play for the national team, where it really doesn't pay you a salary. Like I had told you, you have to have the love to represent and the pride to represent Puerto Rico, and it puts a lot of things in jeopardy when you're a pro. You're relying on that money to come in and that contract. So it's tough. It's tough. You really have to want to do it because of the love and to represent Puerto Rico. So and I understand that because I was a player. So but obviously our ranking needs to improve. When I was playing, I think we were top 10 in the world at one point. Ranking right now it's I don't know where it is as last it was classified, but we need to improve our ranking as well, and that comes with winning tournaments and qualifiers and putting a good team together that's going to take us to the next World Games and the next Olympics, and have those preach to those guys how those opportunities open the doors for me outside of the court, so and on the court. So it's a full-time job, man. A lot of people tell me it's a part-time job for me because of how the FIBA program is now, and we play in windows like FIFA does, but it's a full time for us and the coaches. We constantly, talking about, our next players coming in, and who we playing next. Like right now, our next window is in Washington on the 24th. We play USA. We play USA in Washington, and then the next day we fly to Cuba and we play Cuba for that window. So we're constantly, having Zoom meetings and preparing and making sure the players are healthy and who's traveling, who we're contacting and all that stuff. So, but I love it, man. I love it. The basketball gave me so much, and especially the Puerto Rican national team. So I feel like this is a time for me to get back with what I'm doing and with the time I have now.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know how you do it, man. How you really
Plus, I'm doing the music stuff, man.
That's what
I'm excited about.
That's what I want to talk about, man. Because I don't know how you do it. How you do it? You first of all, you're still hooping. I see the hoop games that you did in your backyard, and I mean, you got your family, you got your kids. Then you do your.
I love hooping, man.
and then all of a sudden, I mean, you're a music star, like you're a reggae, like a legitimate reggaeton music star, man. Like you have millions of views on YouTube, streams,
Thanks, man.
singles, some of the collaborations with some of the biggest reggaeton artists.
Yeah.
First of all, where did this all come from? And this is like you said, you're a basketball player, but like I said, I read somebody, you have roots in music and you've always been a fan, but where did this kind of like, when did this kind of all become serious for you? I guess you could say, like, it's something that's like just like I'm really legitimately going to hone in on this craft and try to see what comes out of it.
Yeah. I put a song out. I mean, I've always been passionate about music, but I put a song out in 2009, and I knew that summer how much it took to really produce a song, the hours that you have to constantly be in the studio to just produce something at a high level and do it the right way, and how much money is invested in marketing and putting your song out, and all the hours you have to do for promoting the song and radio stuff. And I was like, you know what, I don't have the time for this right now. And I waited until the end of my career after I was retired to and I'll have the time. Let's try this. And back then, the music business side of it wasn't what it is now. And I saw it how it is now, and I said, look, I can put multiple singles, collabs together, and kind of get supported by a label. And if I can do that, I'm good. And I saw it from a business perspective, and I said I can make some money just putting out just collabs and not having to travel, tour, or do anything like that, because I have these other things that I'm doing as well. So I decided to do it. I decided to sell my ideas and my and everything I wanted to do with the music, and showcase the collabs I had and I was putting together, and there was a label that loved it, and I said, let's do it. I support you, and so far it's been great, man. I was surprised, man. I was getting the love that I was getting. I thought I was gonna be like, man, what the hell are you? I mean, you get those people, because I understand, seeing me from a basketball player and so many years dedicating yourself to a craft, and then putting yourself in a different light. It's just a different transition, especially being an entertainer, so I can see people saying like, Los, what are you doing? I got my boys being like, they always,
that's all I was gonna ask. Like, I'm sure,
give me a hard time.
I'm sure, like, your teammates, or like, I'm sure there's like, I'm sure, I don't know if you were like in the locker room, like you singing in the locker room, or you do whatever. So I'm sure.
No, that wasn't me at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm sure, like, when you put the single out, I mean, the people seeing the success you have now, I'm sure, like, there's probably teammates, probably people hitting you up, like, yo, where did all this come from? And like, what was the reaction from? What was the reaction from people?
Oh man, my teammates always give me a hard time. You know how that is in the locker room. But for the most part, they show me love too. They would be recording themselves in the car. They show it. They'll tag me on it. Or they'll text me. But it's all love, man. I enjoy doing it. Like I said, doing it from the business perspective, it has worked out. So. And it's still working on I'm working on an album now, just to kind of close that stage in my life, and move on to other things. But it has opened doors, man. It has opened doors for me. I was recently in Thailand shooting a movie. I was contacted by this production company, a cast director from Hollywood, and thanks to the music, a director for Something About Mary and Dumb and Dumber, Peter Farrelly, the Farrelly brothers. They saw the first song I put out. They saw the music video. They're from Boston, and they said, "Man, we want him in our movie." So they contacted me, and I came back from Thailand. I was over there for like 2 months shooting a movie, one of their movies. It's supposed to come out this year.
That's love. So hooping. You got this. You got the singing, reggaeton. Now we got the acting. Triple threat.
Man,
triple threat, man. You really are a legend. question I have before we get into the funny questions. You have a teenage daughter, right? I think she's, if I'm not mistaken, 16,
Yeah,
17 years.
16, yeah.
16. So how does she react to this? Because at 16, like
your
pops
you already
is
know. You already know.
So I'm sure, I don't know if her friends is playing the music, or she sees you on YouTube, or
you
pull up
they
and
do
you
it.
got the song. Like, how is she feeling? Like, what? Just
They
curious.
do it to bother her. They do it to bother her. They be playing the song. They be all singing, and she be like this. She be like running away, like she the typical teenager, like ashamed of her dad,
And you like, I'm cool. Like, you don't know, like, I'm that guy outside. And you get to the crib, she like, nah, cut that off. Cut that off, Dad.
No, but it's all love. It is show. They know I'm passionate. I love it. It keeps my mind, busy and just now I'm retired. I go play golf. Every weekend at this time of year, every weekend we have tournaments. Yesterday we were just in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
The weekend before last, we were in Jacksonville, and they played a club volleyball tournament.
Yeah, I seen that. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to your daughter. I seen that too.
Thank you. So it's my time. This is a time for me to push them. And hopefully one day they can play college and look back at all the sacrifices, that us as parents make for them, as well as my dad and my mom made for me. So it's just beautiful, man. So, I'm constantly preaching to them, the hard work and the discipline. And but yeah, with the music, they sometimes especially when they're with their friends, it's just sometimes I'll be doing that. Doing that. She's with her friends, I'll be pulling up I put the windows down, put my music. I'm like, come on, Dad. Like, yeah, but it's fun. It's fun, man. They love it.
That's love, man. That's love. I'm gonna give you a couple of quick hitter questions before we get out of here, and let you go. I'm not sure if you're going to tour, if you're performing yet, but the question I have is, in the future you do perform, what do you think is going to give you that, I guess you could say, that adrenaline rush, or what are you going to be more nervous for? Performing in front of 20,000 people, your hit song, or playing in NBA Finals Game 1?
Oh, that's a good question. I think performing, because it's something that I'm not used to. You know what I'm saying? Like, basketball was always like second nature. You get a little nervous because you're going to finals and preparing, and you want to do good, and there's millions of people watching. But then after the first minute, you're already into with the game. But performing, I have to make sure I hit a note, and have to make sure I'm doing it the right way. And it's something that is just new to me. I've never done, other than freaking talent shows at the school when I was in high school. But and then all eyes will be on me, not on the team, because and I know a lot of people are gonna want to see, okay, let's see how Carlos Arroyo performs. So it'll be a little nerve-wracking, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be dope, man. I already know. I've seen the videos, man, so I know it's gonna be dope.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I gotta act like I know what I'm doing.
Now, I read a lot about your kind of music, what you listen to. Like you said, you're a fan of hip hop, reggaeton. You say, even some other artists outside. If you had one dream collaboration, somebody that you want to get, on your album that's upcoming, just in general, doesn't have to be reggaeton, just somebody that, that you would want to get, who would that one person be?
Oh. Urban, like Spanish. I mean, it don't matter,
anybody.
Right?
Anybody.
Anybody.
I
mean, I would say, I don't know, somebody like Drake. I don't know. I guess yeah, for sure. Drake is an artist that I can listen to like every day. It's not like he has a couple good songs and that's it. He has a good playlist that I can, I don't get bored listening to Drake.
That'd be dope.
Now, that'll be dope.
Talked about a few last couple of basketball things. Talked about Coach Alderman. He's considered one of the best coaches, but also one of the biggest characters here in EuroLeague. Just talk about him a little bit. Just kind of what he's kind of meant to your career, and just just like you said, your admiration for him.
Yeah, well, Alderman is one of those guys that I had to get accustomed to and get used to his way of coaching and his way of how he runs the team and his message delivery and his energy. It was just different, from the moment I stepped, foot in Turkey. he's just his way or the highway, you know. But he's very blunt. He's very honest. And I got the opportunity to play for him for so many years, and at the beginning it was just tough. But then I knew, he was coming from a place of just winning and just wanting everybody to be on the same page and play the right way, play hard, and that's all you can ask, for, and when you're trying to win a game and winning championships. And he's a winner. So,
absolutely,
and you have these mentalities sometimes of players that, I'm going to go to Europe just to put up numbers, and those players don't really fit with his coaching style, and with a lot of coaching in Europe. And it's something that, it took me a while, but I have nothing but great respect for Altama, man, and to this day, he asked me to come work with him in numerous occasions. I really thought about going to Europe and being a part of his staff because that's how much I respect him and believe in him. So who knows in the future, man, maybe I've always wanted to coach, to be honest, Kyle, but I've always felt that I don't have the patience for it. But maybe, in the future, I'll give myself a chance of coaching 1 or 2 seasons to see how it goes. And if I'm successful, who knows, maybe that there's a career there. But I learned so much from so many good coaches, and me playing the position that I played, I feel like I was a coach on the floor every time, decision making and all that stuff. But who knows? And as far as Altama, man, he continues to prove that he can win at any level. So I know he's gained a lot of respect from everyone, not only in Turkey, but everybody in Europe. So much love to him, man.
Definitely. Last 2 questions before I get you out of here. We talked about your NBA teammates and, the LeBrons and the Carmelones and AKs and all that. But who was your favorite EuroLeague teammate? I know you played with my guy, Pops. You played with, a bunch of different guys. So who would you say was your favorite?
Damn, Kyle, that's not a good question, Kyle.
I mean, for me, I always remember the pick and roll when you were Pops. That like you were Pops, like coming off that pick and roll. The Cetus.
You in Sesko, right? You in Sesko.
Yeah. That was a deadly combination. But
damn, bro.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, man, they for sure listening too. Damn. I respect Kyle. I'm sorry, but I can't answer that question.
That means that means you had a lot of good teammates then. That's a good.
Yeah, man. David Hawkins, man.
Max, the Hawk.
Yeah, he was a beast. He played Milano too.
Yeah.
Milano. He's a legend over there.
Yeah, he's a legend.
All my Turkish teammates, man. Israel too, David Sharp, legend over there, Maccabi.
Yeah.
Damn, man. D Brown played with D Brown. So much energy, man. D Brown has so much energy. Yeah, man. Shout out to him. Man. And then, I played with great teammates over there too, in Barcelona as well. But I can't answer that, man. I'm sorry. I can't answer that, brother.
The last question we have is toughest opponent that you had while playing overseas.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Toughest opponent. Dang. As far as team or
player, point guard, somebody that you went up against, he was like, yo, this it's gonna be, we battling, we going back and forth.
Damn, man. I want to say it's between Diamantidis and Kill Bill, bro. It's between one of them two, man.
That's tough.
Kill Bill was tough. Kill Bill will make you, go to sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning thinking, damn, have a tough one tomorrow.
Exactly.
So I think it's Kill Bill, bro.
Yeah, man, that's not bad at all. Well, man, I appreciate you, man. Man, I thank you for taking the time, man. This conversation has been fun, man. Like you said, we've been, talking back and forth for a minute, liking each other's pictures, commenting and stuff like that. So I'm really great that I had the opportunity to, sit down and talk to you, man. When I come to Miami, man, I'm coming to the crib, man. I'm gonna text you. I need the
Hit me up,
backyard
man.
crib, man. We gotta do the 2-on-2, man. I gotta
Yeah,
get my
man,
chance to
let's
run the
do
pick
it.
and roll with you, man. So
anytime, brother. Anytime, man. Thank you for having me, man. Much respect. I've always looked up to you, you know, in your career. You're a true legend, bro. You're a true legend. Feel proud of everything you've accomplished. And I know you have many years to play. And when the time is right, you know that. You'll know that. So best of luck this season, man, for sure.
Thank you. All the best to you and your family, man. Stay well, stay safe, man. Like I said, we'll keep talking very soon.
For sure, man. Thank you. Thank you so much, brother.
Subscribe to the Players Podcast to listen to more conversations with your favorite player about their careers and interests off the court. You can also check out Upward TV and GTM Family Productions on YouTube for more content. Thank you for listening.